Sabrina or Breanna, right here, sorry. You're able to come back from being down by 17 to cut it to 1, but early in that game, when Minnesota took the lead, in what ways did you see Minnesota's ability to impact the game?
Well, they did whatever they wanted to do, offensively and defensively. They were able to get in their actions. They move the ball well. They hit shots, and it's contagious. When a couple players start, knocking down shots that the rim feels pretty big and the ball's going in, and we weren't able to adjust. And, we've had many games where we've been able to come back from this, and tonight was another example of if we don't come from the start and bring our A game, we're going to get beat.
When it comes to late in the game, how did some of those calls late in that fourth quarter kind of slow down the offensive flow that you guys could have gotten, or did it at all?
Like the refs?
Yeah, calls.
I mean, come on. No comment. I don't know.
We're going to get fined, so.
Yeah.
Sandy, what do you make of this loss? Just falling behind, and how did you find the energy to make a run there?
Yeah, look, it was a tough one. It was, it wasn't pretty. It's tough backing up back to back. I will admit that. I mean, fatigue set in, but credit to the players. I mean, they did fight back, and things just didn't go our way. It was a bit clunky with some of the calls slowing us down the way that we couldn't get into what we wanted to. And but they're a good team, every team. Yeah, anyone can beat anyone, regardless. But when one of their best players goes out, I'm always a little nervous, to be quite honest, because a little complacency can set in. But we gave it a shot. We've just got to make sure, learn from it, and head out to LA and hopefully win.
Hi, everybody. Sandy, this was the first game in a while that you guys lost the rebounding battle. Would you attribute that to just the sort of the almost like fatigue you mentioned with the group tonight?
Yeah, look, I think they were really persistent on the boards, and we kept saying, you got to block out. They're hitting us. They're just out. They're just playing harder than us right now and finishing up. We gave them too many points in the paint, but with our switching, a lack of communication, we didn't have a physical presence to go and get it. But that's something we know we can change. We just got to, freshen up and get locked in and make sure we're ready to go against a LA team that, can be dangerous as well.
Thanks. And for the players, what do you think started to work when you started cutting down the 17-point deficit all the way to 1 deep in the fourth?
I think we were getting stops. Getting stops, able to kind of find people in transition and get scores. Sab hit some big threes, and yeah, then it was just like a free throw game at the end, and nobody had timeouts.
Yeah.
Hey, Sandy. I'm curious if you thought the group was a little trigger happy tonight and maybe could have moved the ball better, especially when the shots weren't falling.
Yeah, I mean, that's, of course, at times we think that, especially we shot 36%. I do think some of us were fatigued, and your legs aren't there. I still think they tried really hard in that regard, particularly these two here and B, and the shot wasn't falling. And when you take your point guard out, I know Sabrina's a point guard, but it's hard when she has to carry the whole load there. Just to losing Sluty was a big loss for us. Obviously, you see how important she is. She's just the general out there and making sure we could get more downhill, and we weren't able to get downhill to create even more better looks.
I appreciate that. And Breanna, for you, why defensively did you think the team struggled as much as it did tonight? Sabrina brought that up, how they were getting whatever they wanted.
Yeah, I think, from watching Minnesota, they moved the ball really well. They pass and they cut, and we oftentimes we had two to the ball and one person was open, and especially the dump down passes off of screen and rolls, things like that, where we could have communicated better. It should be a simple fix, and we struggled with it all night.
Hello. Thank you for being here. Sorry things didn't go your way. My question is for the players. Obviously, it didn't end the way you wanted it to, but at the same time, this was a successful homestand, 3-1 in a 6-day span, some comeback victories in between here. So, what did you guys learn about yourselves as a team throughout this process, and what's the biggest lesson you can take away, particularly in terms of the chemistry you're still looking to form?
I mean, we're building. We're not going to let this one game get in the way of what we've been able to accomplish since we've come back from the All-Star break. We've taken huge steps in just continuing to build chemistry with one another on the court. Have been able to get some really good wins, after the All-Star break. So obviously this one stings, to lose one at home, one that we should have come in and taken care of business. But big picture, I think it might be a really good wake-up call for us to go into this next stretch of games on the road and try and get 3 of them.
Breanna?
Same.
And Coach, for you, when it came to replacing Courtney Vandersloot in the starting 5 tonight, what does the team lose when Courtney's not in the lineup, necessary as it might have been to keep everyone fresh in terms of load management? And how did Maureen Johannes, do you think, did in her extended opportunity?
Yeah, look, it was, losing, Courtney. It was tough because she's the general. She's what gets us going, at both ends of the floor. She's aggressive, it's not, she's facilitating, she's putting them, getting downhill, but she's really good defender too. So, of course, we missed her a lot. Maureen, we need Maureen to be a little bit more aggressive. Maureen has to be Maureen. She's so special, but we need to find a way to make her feel better about her game, and she's very valued, and it wasn't. It would have been nice to get a little bit more out of her.
Hey, Coach. Back here. Diamond Miller really got off to a good start in the game. She was able to run around freely on the perimeter and get into the paint as well. But Nyjah had a lot of her assignments in the first half, and then the second half looked like Breanna started on her. Was that like a specific adjustment to try to get her to kind of crowd her a little bit to get her uncomfortable?
Yeah, just to get a little bit of size, and then pick and rolls just allowed us to switch a little bit and not get exploited on the rolls, which were like we were when we switched. They did a good job of just finding the post players down low, and 40 points in the paint is too much, and we're just trying to find something. And zone was probably our best defense. This is a night where man-to-man wasn't so great.
Thank you.
Hey, right here. So, Coach, I wanted to ask you this. 17-2 run by the Lynx to end the first quarter. What was the conversation like in the huddle going into the second? And did you see what you asked of your players being done throughout the game, or was it more of just, the Lynx, like Sabrina said, they were getting whatever they wanted?
Yeah. We started off really well.
You did?
I think then we got a little complacent. They made some changes with their post players, and they got more aggressive. They started making shots, and it just dried up for us. I just think we got a little fatigue set in. I think you saw that. We had to make rotations just to, usually when you're back-to-backs, it's the first quarter you're going to struggle a little bit just to get your second wind. But 17-2, that's tough. We gave them really good momentum and belief.
Thank you.
We'll finish on Zoom with Miles.
Hi, Breanna. This was the lowest percentage the team shot from the floor since opening night against Washington. But I know you guys never make excuses about scheduling or fatigue, but to show that resiliency and that fight, even when the shots are falling short, when the loose balls aren't going your way, despite nearly everyone but Sabrina having an off shooting night, how can you build on this going into, because there is still in the middle of this 8-14 stretch and there's not much time to dwell on it. Mm-hmm. So how can you just carry that into Sunday?
Exactly that. Know that this one sucked and was tough to lose at home, but no time to dwell. We're still on this stretch where it's a quick turnaround. We travel to LA tomorrow, and happy with the way that we fought, especially at the end. But it didn't have to be like this. That's how I feel.
Thank you. And Sandy, you knew coming into today that you had just 9 active. And the 4 reserves just put together 5 points for you off the bench. How can you build off of that and just get a little bit more out of that second unit, especially like we were talking about with this tight schedule?
Yeah, we need them. We need them. And it helps us. And today it was, we just didn't feel like they were giving us what we needed, especially when we got down. So I mean, that's tough, but we still got, we still believe in them, but they've got to help us as well. And just, be aggressive. Now, they're not in there just to be scorers, but you still need them to be aggressive and take what defense gives us.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.